Before we begin episode 2, here is a quick recap for those of you who began listening today. At a restaurant run by Shamit and Tanya, the staff behaves oddly and maintains distance from the two. Also, there is only Tanya who attends every table at the restaurant because it has an automated ordering system. The chef and the cleaning staff get talking about Tanya and Shamit on their way back home. Alienated in an ancient land. Episode 2. Anxiety kills you, does it? Part 1. Saraswati was walking back home cautiously. Occasionally, she jerked and turned around to check if someone was following her. Her home was now few footsteps away. She hastened and went into the small entrance of the residential building and ran to her room. With shivering hands, she opened the lock of her room. She opened the door very slowly, half expecting a monster in the room. Seeing it was empty, she rushed inside and locked herself in it. Her hands were shivering out of control. She tried her best to calm her nerves and normalize her racing heart. She hadn't eaten anything at the restaurant that day. Since afternoon, she suffered from strange, unknown anxiety, like someone was following her and was out to kill her. She washed her face in the sink and kept splashing water over her face. Cold water acted as a soothing agent. Saraswati felt the water dousing a raging fire that was consuming her body from within. Her breathing was now normal, but the fear of the unknown kept her awake. She sat cross legged with her back pressed to the room door, expecting her weak body to stand in between the unknown danger that wanted to enter the room. She brought her knees closer to her face and bent down, resting her head on the knees. After what seemed like ages, she fell asleep and gently rolled over to the ground, finally free from the fear that stalked her all afternoon. Yes, I was stunned that they paid the amount that was promised, said Ganesh excitedly to Rekha. They were going back home from restaurant after the day's work. They are strange and fearsome in a weird way, mumbled Rekha. She was constantly checking behind her and looking sideways to see if someone was following her. Why are you looking over your shoulder all the time? Who is following you? Probed Ganesh. I wasn't like this earlier. One day, I happened to touch Tanya madam while giving her an order, and I felt a sudden pulsating sensation. I was new and did not know I should stay away from them. By the end of the day, I was weary and scared that someone was following me and coming to kill me, whispered Rekha. But what has it got to do with touching Tanya, madam? I noticed that everybody maintained distance from them. When I asked, nobody replied. Stay away from them was the standard answer, continued Rekha. After that day, when I had accidentally touched Tanya madam many times, I experienced extreme anxiety about the unknown. It was scary and much worse than hell. I narrated all of it to the old chef when she explained that these two people were nicknamed vampires, shivered Rekha, recounting her experience. Ganesh chuckled. Why vampires? Because they take away all your happiness and fill you with despair, fear, and death, came the reply in a mechanical, robo like voice. Ganesh checked to see if Rekha was all right. She was gazing at the night sky without blinking and started muttering something in an unknown language. Ganesh held Rekha by her shoulder, shook her vigorously, and shouted at the top of his voice, Rekha, what happened to you? Rekha suddenly came out of her trance and looked around. Where am I? Her words were incoherent, and her body was shivering badly. Ganesh covered her with his worn out hoodie and hurriedly took her into the house. Once inside the house, Rekha pushed Ganesh outside with all her strength and closed the door without uttering a word. The strange robot like look had returned. Ganesh was rendered speechless by Rekha's behavior. Disappointed, he gathered himself and slowly walked to his house, which was 2 blocks away. This Friday, I will read the second part of episode 2, Anxiety Kills You, Does It? For those of you who have joined me today, you may want to listen to the first episode, the link to which is given in the description. So, why did Rekha and Saraswati behave that way? Maybe you will find the answers in the next story reading session this Friday. So, don't forget, starting this week, I will read the episode in 2 parts and publish them over the week. Stay tuned to know more. Subscribe, like, and share our channel link with everyone who loves to listen to stories.